Hello, my friends. My name is Ryan Freeman. Welcome to my life in Taiwan. This is a channel update to let everyone out there come up to speed with what has been going on in my life. It has been a very long time since I released the channel update. I don't remember exactly how long, but probably close to almost a year and a half to 2 years. I said that I was trying to apply to go to Japan. I had sent my wife and my little daughter Alice. My wife was pregnant at the time with our daughter Francesca to Japan to apply through the visa process to help get me that permission to come to Japan where we would live there. So what happened was quite a lot happened. By the way, before I get into this story, I just wanted to say that I just woke up out of bed. I landed in Taiwan yesterday, and I'm going to get to why I moved to Taiwan shortly. So I just got out of bed, just had a cup of coffee. I am in this quarantine lockdown hotel. I cannot leave this room. There's like no natural light. I don't really have the facilities to kind of get the right angle for this video, and I've got a lot of jet lag, folks, so bear with me if this is not up to the high quality standards that you might expect from me. Not that I'm necessarily a professional videographer. Okay, now with all that said, let's get back to the story. So my wife and I had decided that we wanted to raise our family in Japan, and I drove her to the airport. She had a bun in the oven. We had our little daughter Alice, and when I dropped her off, I cried my eyes out. And the idea was we would apply for the visa, and if it didn't work, she would come back to America, and we just live in America, and maybe we would just keep trying. Well, what happened is she went back to Japan, and she really liked being back in Japan. I mean, she really, really was happy to be back with her family, back with her culture. And I missed the hell out of her, and especially missed the hell out of my daughter Alice, and of course was worried about the upcoming birth of my second daughter. But we communicated every couple days, sometimes every day on the phone. I'm not going to go into all the details for everything because this is a whole massive saga in itself. So I'm going to actually cut this a little short. So basically what happened was my wife got happier and happier to be in Japan. She gave birth to my daughter Alice. The visa application failed, and the relationship between my wife and I broke down. And as it broke down, it just got harder and harder to talk to her, harder and harder to figure out what we could do. And basically she unilaterally, and I'm not trying to blame her, guys, because this would be a long discussion. So basically she decided she wasn't going to reapply for my visa to Japan, and she wasn't going to come back to America. She was still, video chatting with me, but that became less frequent, and I'm not going to go into the whole story, but yada, yada, yada. It's now more than a year since I've seen my daughter Alice, since I've seen my wife. I am still married to her, and it was the hardest year of my life. Not only was I not able to get to Japan, my wife didn't bring my daughter back to America like I had thought she would, and I had to reevaluate my marriage, reevaluate my life, all this while dealing with this gap between me and my daughter Alice, who I raised and protected and did everything I could for the first year, almost year and a half of her life, and I never loved anyone like that. And so I had the role of fatherhood sort of stripped from me. I'm gonna put all of this into a much longer series, sort of like my Jailed in Japan series, where I go into the nooks and crannies of the story because it is a long saga. This is just going to be the channel update. in essence, I was pretty beat up, man. I cried it every day, pretty much every day, sobbing, you know, like you see people sob in the movies, like just bawling by myself, curled up in the fetal position. I thought about suicide, thought about killing myself. If you've watched my videos since the time they left, I really feel like I've been less creative because I've been less happy. It's hard to like just go out and make videos when you're like so torn up inside because you can't see your daughter and your wife won't talk to you. So it's been crazy. Like I said, I'll get into that another day, depending upon what happens. I am still married to my wife. I don't know for how long. I don't know what will happen. So I decided I needed to not be this heartbroken man, because that would only lead me to further misery and perhaps jumping off a cliff, which was first most in my thoughts for many, many days over the past year. I decided that if I was going to be any use to my daughters, even if I can't see them, even if I don't actually have a real father-daughter relationship with them like I always wanted, like I had planned to, if I'm going to be of any use to them in the future, they will want a man who is happy, who is thriving, who is creative, who is productive, and who's happy. So I decided I am going to start to live my life. This was after over a year of struggling, of knocking my head against the wall, crying every day, wanting to kill myself. Basically, like the worse than jail, guys. Worse than jail. Okay, it's the best thing to be married, best thing to have a happy marriage and to have a child and to be so lucky. But when that gets taken away, it's the worst thing. Okay, that's another video for another day. I decided I was going to live. I decided I wanted to live life again. It started to creep into me little by little that there was something inside of me deep down that wanted to live despite everything, despite all tragedy, all plans being broken. I wanted to live, eat, breathe, dance, sing, whatever, all of it. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to base my life around trying to get my wife back and my old life back. I'm going to continue forward in some direction. What will it be? I scanned the options in America, applied for jobs, various things, got offer for a very interesting wilderness therapy counselor job. But overall, I was drawn to going abroad again. And when I thought about what country I would like to go abroad, I thought about Taiwan. It's a country I visited a couple times in the past. It's a country where I will be able to improve my Mandarin. I spoke a little Mandarin, basic conversational, when I lived in China, and I lost it as I moved to Japan and then back to America. So I still actually have a foundation, but it's like something that you've become rusty in, you need to work back into, and I would like to improve it and get very proficient, at least conversationally, in it. And Taiwan is a safe country. It's got a low cost of living. People are friendly. I am very interested, if you followed my channel, in Taoism and Chinese philosophy, the I Ching. And Taiwan has done a better job of the mainland at preserving ancient Chinese culture. And also, this was a really big factor as well. Taiwan is close to Japan. Taiwan, I checked the flights from Haneda Airport, which is the closest international airport to where my wife and daughters live. And it's like a 3-hour flight from Haneda to Taoyuan Airport, which is very close to where I live. I am living now in Taoyuan City. I'll get into that in just a moment. And the flights round trip from Haneda to Taoyuan for my wife and babes to visit, $200 round trip. So I thought, if there was a possibility that my lovely separated wife would want to work it out, or at least want their daughters to have a relationship with their father, they could come visit me. I could buy them flights and show them a really nice time, spoil them here in Taiwan, and build some memories and a bond with my daughters. And maybe talk to my wife face to face. I always feel that, you know, when you make big decisions, it's best to look people in the eyes and not do it over Facebook Messenger chat. So there was a lot of factors why I chose Taiwan. And so I ended up applying. I went to an old website that I once used when I was a gallivanting English teacher called Dave's ESL Cafe. I went to the International Jobs Board and I typed find on this page in the Google options Taiwan, and I just went through several of the offers for jobs in Taiwan, and I found one that looked interesting, teaching at a public junior high school. And I ended up talking to this person and talking more and getting a good vibe from him. He got a good vibe from me, and yada yada yada. I started this application process, not necessarily sure I was going to go to Taiwan. I was still not 100% confident, still dealing with you know, my old life and you know, sort of taking those tentative steps towards a new direction. And but once the ball got rolling, it started rolling, and there were a few hiccups. Taiwan at the time was extremely locked down. It is actually only recently, September 12th, opened up for some countries, America included, to visit Taiwan with a tourist visa. Before that, you had to go through a very long, drawn-out process of doing so many documents to apply through TECO, which is the Taiwan's version of a consulate in America and abroad. And it was a nightmare of paperwork, and I was like a little on the fence, but then it kind of opened up at the right time, and I had a very nice rapport with a coordinator for the school that I'm going to work at, who just, you know, sometimes you get a good feeling. Sometimes things might be scary in the beginning, but then things start to open up, signs start to manifest that this is the right direction, and I started to go whole hog into moving to Taiwan. There was still a lot of paperwork to be processed, still, you know, little hiccups, little snags. I had to sell a lot of my things, had to sell my car. Selling my car was fantastic. I had tried to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, you know, all the latest apps, and I was getting lots of interest, getting lots of messages. And then I was getting my teeth cleaned at my mom's dental office, and she said, why don't you just make a for sale sign, Ryan? Put it in your car and park it. I thought, Mom, that's old school. I'm doing the latest tech to get it sold. But I followed her advice, and the first day I parked my car, my neighbor saw it, gave me cash in hand for the pink slip. So anyways, lots of things came together. Lots of people came out to help me, lots of little miracles. It reminded me of my jailed in Japan experience, which I talked about in that very long series, where I was kind of hopeless, kind of lost, and then all of a sudden things just started manifesting, things just started working, angels started helping me from outside, and I ended up getting out on bail, and it was like the best experience of my life. And so that kind of feeling happened, and so it started to have that sort of feeling of fate, like I was coming to Taiwan. And then I took magic mushrooms a week before going to Taiwan. I hadn't done psychedelics in a long time, and I'm going to talk about that series. Probably put a link to it right up above. I want to do a little trip report for that. And in that magic mushroom experience, it confirmed how beautiful life is, despite all of our hangups, despite all of our best laid plans being shattered, about how life is just always there waiting for us to seize it and make love with it. And I got a lot of resolution about how to move forward with my relationships, most importantly with my wife and daughters. And anyways, I will talk about that in that trip report. I just wanted to let you guys know. You might be saying, this guy is a little off his rocker. He loses his family and just jets off to Taiwan. But like I said, There was a lot of reasons. I needed to live for myself, for my daughters, killing myself, and just pining away would have done no good, not only for myself, but no good for my family, no good for my daughters. I need to live. I need to be happy. I need to thrive. I want to be near my daughters so that I could perhaps tempt my wife to have them come visit. And Taiwan just seemed like an option that was not only exciting to me, but very close to where they are geographically. Also a place that hopefully I'll be inspired to make lots more videos for you guys, like, you know, about my job in Taiwan, about my apartment in Taiwan. This is just a little quarantine apartment that I'm staying at. So it was an option in life that excited me, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you for watching this update. I know it was long, and I'm a little bit of a mess, but I'm excited to be here and excited to be talking back with you guys. Thank you for watching this channel. As always, my name is Ryan Freeman. I will see you later. 再见.